It's football day again. Whether you're watching this on Friday, Saturday or Sunday. But I must admit, if you're watching it Sunday, you've already missed Super 6. And if you're watching it Saturday and it's 3:01 or 3:00, you've missed Super 6. But we've got Gary Neville back for the first time in bloody ages. So what we got? We've got Carragher. Dave hasn't had time to breathe. We haven't let him have time to breathe. We did really well on Tuesday. And then Wednesday came and everything fell apart. And the games we got today are Newcastle vs Luton. We've got Brighton vs Palace. We've got Burnley vs Fulham. We've got Sheffield United vs Villa. This is all Saturday. Sheffield United is 5:30. Sheffield United Villa 5:30. And then moving on to Sunday, we've got United West Ham at 2. And then big ass game, Arsenal vs Liverpool at 4:30. Which I like Liverpool's chances, to be fair, but you never know with these kind of games, do you, to be fair? And I don't know, I think Arsenal play a bit slow and Liverpool play a bit fast, but we'll see. Mo Salah might be back, I don't know, I haven't really been following the Cup. But somebody was saying in the commentary in the United game yesterday that a lot of the people who went to the African Cup are back, so we'll see. Let's start with Newcastle Luton then. 3 o'clock Saturday. Oh, and Jamie's lost his head-to-head permissions. I think he keeps losing too much. Everyone keeps beating him, so they've kicked him out and put Gary on. But if you actually look, they've put very similar goals, results anyway, scores. So Newcastle Luton at Newcastle. Oh, that went ultimately quiet really quick. Oh, this was a great game as well, by the way. I don't play with 5 at the back very often, and it was a good game, good fun. I might start playing with that in career a little bit. Newcastle Luton. Gary Neville reckons 3-0. Jamie Carragher reckons 2-0. And whoever the admin is reckons 2-0. And can we start putting a name to the admin, please? Because I don't know who it is. And can someone get a message to the Premier League team and tell them to give me a job in the VAR team, because the VAR team are crap. They seem to need an artificial line generated by a computer when there's humans literally mowing lines into the pitch. I don't see why it's so complicated. You can see it from by eye. Like, you can literally see it by eye 90% of the time. Or let's say 99% of the time, because I can only remember one occasion where I've looked. Who was it? It was yesterday and I thought he was still on. It was Hoyland for United yesterday. I'm pretty sure he was still on, because we're going from the feet now, ain't we, not the body. His body was in front of him, but I'm pretty sure his feet were onside. And there was no replay and no artificial line, there was nothing. Just the proven over the last couple of years to be very very useless VAR team. So yeah, give me a job in VAR. Newcastle 2-1 I've put. Gary put 3-0. Jamie put 2-0. Admin put 2-0. Luton just won, what was it, 4-0. Who did they beat 4-0? Brighton. They beat Brighton 4-0, you know what I mean? Come on. Which I wouldn't. I'm glad that weren't on last week's Super 6. God, that would have put me out. Well, I didn't win anyway, so. But I beat Jamie again, and all the people who got that £100, I beat all of them again. Which always seems to be the case. 2 weeks running now. We've got Brighton Palace now. Brighton just, oh mate, it's hard to go against Brighton because they're usually so good, but then Luton smash them 4-0. They ain't really. They drew 0-0 to Wolves. They drew 0-0 to West Ham. So I don't know what's going on there. But I've put 2-2 because I just don't know. Gary reckons Brighton 2-1. Jamie reckons 2-1. Admin reckons a 1-1. So we're going to have to see, because we'll probably all be wrong and Palace will turn them over. It's usually the way football works, isn't it? Oh, Fulham, Burnley, Fulham. Now this is just a combination of losses. So, okay, against big teams though, this is why this is a bit awkward. So Burnley have lost to Liverpool, Villa, Tottenham, and then City in the last 5 games, and then drew 1-1 to Luton. Fulham have lost to Liverpool, lost to Chelsea, drew to Liverpool, lost to Newcastle, and then drew to Everton in their last 5 games. So again, another really awkward one. Gary's put 1-1, the admin's put 1-0 Fulham, and Jamie has put 1-0 Fulham, and I have put 2-1 Fulham. Because I quite like Burnley, to be fair, like, they're not a bad side at all. So I don't see them not scoring. But, I don't know, I do like Fulham. Just Willian needs to get his ass into gear, because, fuck me, that's not the Willian we expect, is it really? Moving on to the late games Saturday, where we've got Sheffield United Villa. The last 5 games don't really matter too much. Oh, Villa scored as well, man. That just about got me 5 points. Like, watching it, mate, I never thought they were going to score. That Leon Bailey, I don't know why Emery doesn't. Emery? Yeah, Emery doesn't start that kid. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not going to say too much about it because I really don't get it. But I know I'd start him. So I've put 3-1 to the Villa because, yeah, I know they didn't play well against Newcastle, but this ain't Newcastle, is it? Newcastle's set up very well. Yeah, so I've put 3-1 Villa. The admins put 2-1 Villa. And Gary and Jamie have both put 2-0 to the Villa. So the Villa, everyone's on the Villa. Which, moving on to Saturday, 2 PM, we got United, who played yesterday. Did West Ham play yesterday as well? I think they did, didn't they? Yeah, okay, so they both played yesterday. But I've put 2-0 to United. And Gary has put 2-0 to United. Jamie's put 1-0 to United. And the admin has put 3-1 to United. Now here's the game. Here's the bloody game. Arsenal, Liverpool. I think I'm going to start with what the pundit... Oh no, I'm going to start with games actually. So in the last 5 games, Arsenal have lost 3. And I watched a bit of them yesterday, and I don't know, every time I watch them, they just seem slow. Like, you can see that little City influence, Man City influence, Pep influence, I should say. But they just ain't got that City. Like, when you watch City, it's like majestic, and it's like watching some next level shit. Especially now De Bruyne's back, my god. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Definitely talk about that in a minute. His first game back yesterday, or the day before. He came on as a sub in the game before that, but 2 days ago he started his first game back from injury. And wow. I didn't watch the whole game, but wow, that guy. That guy. He don't even need to do anything, does he? Just stand there. Yeah, all you need to do if you're Kevin De Bruyne when you're 34, 40, between 34 and 40, just slow down, stand still, let someone give you the ball, and then you fucking deliver it to somebody. That geezer could play forever. Yes, Arsenal, Liverpool. So, as I said, they've lost 3 of the last 5. 1 of the losses were to Liverpool. They absolutely destroyed Palace after that. But Liverpool haven't lost 1. They've won 4 out of 5 and drew once. And in all fairness, the 1 draw they played 3 days before that. That was Christmas. Oh no, it weren't Christmas Eve. Why did they play 3 days before that? Maybe it was FA Cup. Yeah, I don't know. I assume it was the Cup. So I've put 2-2. Oh, everyone's put 2-2. Gary's put 2-2. Jamie's put 2-2. And the admin's put 2-1. Are you guys copying me? Like, you're aware that I haven't got the 30 yet? Like, I'm sitting here moaning about the fact that everybody who keeps getting lower scores than me beats me in the head-to-head. Well, on the draw. Yeah, that's mad. 2-2. Even though I've got it in my head that I want to turn it to 3-1, but like once I've put 2-2, I'd be more gutted if it ended 2-2 than if it ends at 3-1 after I've put 2-2 and I've already saved it once. Because when I do this, I've already done them days ago. I'll just wait for the pundits to do theirs, and then I'll do this. So. Doing a worm? I don't think Kai Havertz does a worm. And this difficulty's on world class as well. But I think Chilwell and what's his name? Reece James, innit? Fucking hell, that was weird. I was thinking James Reece James, what's his name? Yeah, them two, mate, on the wing backs, brilliant. At least they are on FIFA, like. I know they're supposed to be in real life, but I don't know. I don't play with them in real life, so. Yeah, I'm going to do a quick run through of all these again. So we've got Newcastle Luton 2-1. Gary says 3-0, Jamie says 2-0, admin says 2-0. Brighton Palace 2-2. Gary says 2-1, Jamie says 2-1, admin says 1-1. Burnley Fulham, I've said 2-1 Fulham, Gary reckons 1-1, and admin and Jamie both reckon 1-0 Fulham. Sheffield United Villa, I reckon 3-1 to the Villa, Jamie and Gary reckon 2-0 to the Villa, and the admin reckons 2-1 to the Villa. Man United 2-0. Again, Man United West Ham 2-0. Gary reckons 2-0, Jamie reckons 1-0, admin reckons 3-1. And Arsenal Liverpool, I've put 2-2. Me, Jamie and Gary have put 2-2, and the admin reckons 2-1 to Liverpool. And I have put a 9th minute golden goal. So I'll submit that. So that's off my screen. Submit then, thank you. And now let's talk about the games that have happened, or everything that I actually saw happen. We'll talk about yesterday before we talk about the day before, because yesterday was crazy. So the first thing that I found a bit weird, was this even yesterday? Who was it? It was the Calvin Phillips game, West Ham Bournemouth. So when I switched it on, it was already 1-0 Bournemouth. And yeah, it was like right at the start. And they're talking about Calvin Phillips in his first game for West Ham played a pass back that was apparently terrible and then led to the goal. So then I was watching the West Ham game. West Ham looked terrible. Oh mate. So the commentator was saying, oh, they don't look like they've got any confidence. It looked beyond confidence. It looked like they didn't have ability. There were the touches on the ball. Honestly, some of them were crap. Like, I've literally seen toddlers. No, not toddlers. Like, I've seen a 6-year-old play better. Put it that way. Like, just at bringing the ball down. The dude weren't even under pressure. He put himself under pressure after his touch, because then he had, like, no time to actually control it. But yeah, it was really weird, West Ham. But I was mainly just waiting to watch Wolves United, because Wolves are the only team that I like in the West Midlands. Other than Warsaw, but they don't really count, do they? Who the fuck are Warsaw? Oh my god, he hit the post! Sorry, I was watching the game as well then. Yeah, madness. Real madness. So I've turned... We had that early goal with the bad pass back, and I've turned the Man U game on, and there's already been a goal, and it was a bad pass back. It was really weird. So both games, West Ham, Bournemouth and Wolves United, both had an early goal from a bad pass back. Talk about the stars dictating what happens in the world, like. Which, I ain't gonna lie, it really, really does. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the United game because I watched a lot more of that. Bournemouth's build-up play, actually, before we move on, the Bournemouth's build-up play was beautiful. You couldn't even call them a lower league team when you look at them. When you're watching them, fantastic. Prowse got a penalty in the 62nd minute. Other than that, I don't think anything happened. As far as I know, it ended 1-1. I was watching the United game that went ballistic. Yeah, so Rashford scored a 5-minute goal. There was... Oh mate, there was a free kick for Wolves. Wolves were on the right wing. So Man U have got a real high line, like the way out of the box. And then... I guess they've seen this shit before and they knew what was going on, but Bruno Fernandes, man, he was on that. Like, I think he knew where the Wolves player was going to kick the ball before the Wolves player kicked the ball. Because it seemed as if he was running to the exact point where the ball was going as soon as the dude, like, lifted his leg to kick the ball. It was mad. I haven't watched a replay of it, but in real time it was brilliant positioning from Bruno Fernandes. Wolves kept playing the long balls early on, and they were working for a while. Like, I don't know, it was like the first 15 minutes, Rashford scored in the 5th minute, and it was like they'd played about 3 high long balls since then into the 15th minute, and they were just working. I think they were always down the left wing as well. But a little bit further on, like, that was how they'd kind of got into Man U's final third. And then Man U just couldn't get it out. Every time they won the ball, they just kept giving it to a Wolves player, giving it to a Wolves player.
Well, what can you say about this performance? They've been absolutely brilliant. They've played with such guile and creativity, and their passing has been so expansive.
I don't know how they didn't score then, to be honest, because it was coming so hard. But they just couldn't get it there. And then I think it ended up 2-1, didn't it, next? No, 2-0, sorry. Oh, mate, Rashford and Shaw. Sorry, I've got little notes from the game, so it's like I'm just rereading what I've put. Mate, the Rashford Shaw. I think it's Shaw, to be honest, more than Rashford. His overlap game. But the Rashford... I would say the Rashford pass was perfect, but it was more... the line that Wolves were playing, the defensive line that Wolves were playing Shaw onside. Otherwise, he'd have been offside. Which, in fairness, he should have been offside. But, as I say, the Wolves line. But, mate, every time, like, Shaw needs to make a run, he's making a run. He's overlapping like a boss. And he plays good balls into the box, too. Oh, Bruno. This is a good little statistic. He has been involved in 128 goals in 214 games. Like, think about that. That's fucking brilliant. Oh, Højlund works his socks off as well. But I don't know how I feel about him yet. I quite like what I can see, but what really does play in my head is what Bruno said afterwards. So, from an outside perspective, I don't know what the manager's telling the players. As far as I know, he's told to just run into space, create space for other players. But then Bruno turned around in the after-game interview and said he'd like more goals from the striker. So I don't really know. Anyway, Casemiro gave away a penalty. It looked like in the replay that his studs were exposed, so fair enough if it was, but it looked soft the first time I watched him. Like, if his studs weren't exposed, it was a soft ass pen. If there were, fair enough. So yes, I can't remember the Sarabia. I don't know how to say that. Sarabia? Sarabo? Takes and scores the pen anyway. Oh, McTominay came on. Man U have took a corner. McTominay's like running in. Somebody's jumped in front of McTominay to win the header. The ball's gone over the dude's head. The keeper's tricked. Doesn't really see McTominay. And he just slots it in, man. Just slots it in. Keeper didn't even move. Couldn't really move. He could have, but he weren't watching. If you watch the replay, he was watching. He was still watching the player that jumped. Like, he weren't watching where the ball went. The counter-attack in the 95th minute, and then Mainu come back. So it was a beautiful passing play. Beautiful passing play from Wolves in the 95th. Neto with a finesse into the corner. And then Mainu's literally took everybody on, run up the other end, and done the exact same thing as what Neto just did. Fucking brilliant. Brilliant end to the game. But I am running out of time, so if you are enjoying, like, subscribe.